Welcome to the Partner Starter Institute, Module 3, Using Data to Inform Equitable Partnership Practices. My name is Courtney Cintron, Ingenuity's Partner Engagement Specialist, and I will be your host throughout the Partner Starter virtual series. Each module has been designed to equip arts partners with tools and resources to support equitable quality programs in Chicago public schools in an environment shaped by COVID-19, the economic downturn, and the anti-racism movement. The goal of today's module is to understand how arts organizations can use data to make informed decisions about forming partnerships with schools and creating partnerships that advance equity and support underserved communities and those most impacted by COVID-19. Also, as we move through today's session, be sure to take notes and write down any thoughts or questions that you have on the session. There's going to be an opportunity to enter those into a Google form, and we will do our best to address these questions at the live Partner Starter panel on August 7th. So, joining us today to guide us through this topic is Emily Cibelli, Ingenuity Senior Data Analyst. And later on in today's session, we will also hear from Julia Hinojosa, Assistant Educational Program Director at Arts and Public Life. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Emily, and I'll be back soon.
Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to explore data about arts education in Chicago from a few different angles. We'll get started by learning about the Artlook platform and how you can share data about your organization. After that, we'll talk about how you can learn from and leverage data to build partnerships with CPS schools. We'll take a break to hear from Arts and Public Life about how they've done just that. We'll then explore some examples of how deep dives into the data can help you use it strategically. Finally, we'll wrap up by discussing a few concrete steps that your organization can take to develop data-informed strategies and advance your equity work. First, let's spend a few minutes getting acquainted with the Artlook platform. Artlook is designed to help you share your programming information with CPS schools, and for you to learn more about CPS schools that might make good prospective partners for your organization. At its core, Artlook is a searchable database that allows users to explore the landscape of arts education in Chicago. Artlook is structured around profiles that house information about arts organizations and CPS schools. As an organization that works with students in CPS, or one that wants to work in CPS, you have the ability to share information through Artlook that will help you form partnerships with schools. The search tool on Artlook allows schools to search for you and for you to search for schools to help build those partnerships. We've designed it to be used by the whole arts education community, both partner organizations and schools in the district, but also funders and philanthropists in the arts space, parents of CPS students, district leaders, and others in the community who have an interest in how arts education resources are distributed and where arts are happening in the city. You can build your organization's profile to let the Chicago arts education community know what you're up to. What programs do you offer? What schools do you work with? What's your organization's mission? And how can schools contact you? There's a place to share it all here. And once you have, your profile will be searchable by other Artlook users, ensuring that schools can find out about the new programs you offer, the disciplines you specialize in, and the work that you're already doing in the school district. Our partner portal makes it easy for you to report out your contact information, your partnerships with schools, your programs, and keep it all up to date whenever you have something new to share with us and with the community. Detailed program descriptions allow you to tell schools what educational opportunities you provide and what the values of your organization are. And your customized data dashboard highlights the diversity of services and programs that you offer. It also helps you keep track of your school engagement year after year. A customized partner report built for your organization shows a snapshot of your school engagement. who you've worked with, what you've offered, and which students were reached. This report is generated automatically when you provide information about the arts education programming you offer every year. Partners often use this as part of their grant applications, as well as to provide more information about their impact when they're doing year-end reporting. But you can also use it to do internal assessments of your own programming and learn more about the students you are reaching. Once you've got data in the system, Ingenuity is also here to help you with custom data pulls. If you can't find the information you need, or you can't extract it from the map, reach out to us and we're happy to help you learn more. Now, adding data to Artlook ensures that others can find you and the arts education programs that you offer. In the same way, you can find out what else is going on in the sector and discover what schools are looking for in their arts education programming. Just like organizations, all schools in Chicago Public Schools have an Artlook profile. Taking a look at those school profiles is a great way to get a sense of a school's arts program. What programs does it already have? What do its teachers and students want? And how far along is the school on the district's roadmap for high-quality arts instruction? Every school in Chicago Public Schools is rated each year on the Creative Schools certification. The certification is an indicator of a school's arts teachers, its instructional time, its student enrollment, school support, and curriculum provided by the school in the arts. These components are evaluated and a final score is assigned to every school every year. That certification score tells you how well a school is currently able to meet the goals and the priorities of the CPS Arts Education Plan. In essence, the certification gives you a snapshot of the robustness of arts education in that school and in that year. Every school's profile also provides detailed lists of arts instructors, courses, and programs. You can use this information to learn what's going on in the building and what is and isn't available to its students. You can also learn what schools hope to have for their students by exploring school interests. Teachers at the school can report this information on Artlook at any time. So, via Artlook, you have a real-time snapshot of the programs and resources that students and teachers are most interested in receiving from partner organizations like yours. Individual school profiles are a good place to start getting familiar with the data. But there are 650 schools in Chicago Public Schools. That's a lot to search through. So when you're ready to plan a new partnership, take advantage of search filters and keyword searches to really drill down and find what you're looking for. So let's look at a few examples. Maybe you have a 3D and game design program, and you want to bring it to charter elementary schools. You can find the ones looking for that type of programming by using the network, school interests, and school type filters. Or maybe you have a bilingual mariachi program and you're looking for the right school to bring it to. You can use school interest and school demographic filters to find those schools. Or maybe you want to focus on schools in your own neighborhood, especially those that don't already have very many arts partnerships in their building, so that you can have the greatest impact in your local community. Artlook can help you find those schools as well. Once you've run your search, you'll get a list of matching schools. You can explore each school's profile, and then you can export a list of contact information to reach out to the teachers at those schools. You can also leverage the map to find schools in particular geographic locations across the city that match the features you're focused on. Finally, don't forget that you can do keyword searches too. Of course, you can use this to find schools with particular features, but you might also want to learn about other organizations in Chicago, to learn about what they're doing and to network with them. You can use keywords in addition to search filters to find other organizations. Try this out to search mission statements and program descriptions and connect with your peers across the arts education space. Let's pause now to hear from an organization that has used Artlook recently. Julia Hinojosa with Arts in Public Life will share some thoughts about how they have used the platform to inform their partnership strategies. Take it away, Julia.
Thank you, Emily. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about our organization and how we've been able to use Ingenuity's Artlook map to help inform some of the decisions that we've made recently in our organization. As Emily mentioned, my name is Julia Hinojosa, and I am the Assistant Director of Educational Programs at Arts in Public Life. Arts in Public Life is an initiative of UChicago Arts, and it serves as a platform for artists and allows access to arts programming through arts residencies, arts education, creative entrepreneurship, and artist-led programs and exhibitions. We're located on the Arts Block, which is situated along Garfield Boulevard between Prairie Avenue and Martin Luther King Drive. The Arts Block is the home to the Arts Incubator, the Green Line Performing Arts Center, and our newest addition, the L1 Business Accelerator. Our arts education programs mainly serve young people ages 13 through 24 through design build programs, theater arts, and our Teen Arts Council. Early on in the year, we were looking to expand some of our programs and to build out some new programs. We were interested in engaging students and schools with our exhibitions and our gallery through online resources, but also through a field trip option. Additionally, we were looking for opportunities for our community actors program. And so we're looking for performance opportunities, but also opportunities for mentorship for younger audiences, which is how we came to start using some of the data provided by Ingenuity and Artlook map. We were very certain about specific things. We were very certain about the communities that we wanted to serve. So Arts in Public Life serves 5 regional zip codes, which include Washington Park, Kenwood, Woodlawn, South Shore, and Inglewood. And so we know that those were the communities that we wanted to serve through these programs. We were also looking for schools that had a need for visual arts programming and for theater arts programming, seeing as those were the programs that we were looking to provide to these communities, as well as schools that didn't have these opportunities already. So those were some of the things that we knew that we wanted to find out. And so we started the search on our own. It was myself and our intern. We knew that the information existed on Artlook map and on CPS's website. We quickly started a zip code search, and the information that we were getting was lovely, but it was a lot of information to sift through. And so we knew there had to be a better way with time constraints on our behalf and different priorities. We just knew that there was an easier way, which was how we came to contact Ingenuity to see if even running in a report for us was possible. And I contacted Courtney. I gave her my request. I gave her our parameters for search. Asked her if it was even possible, because at the time we didn't know that it was even possible. She put me in touch with Emily, and that was really the process. It was just that simple. Is we wanted to look at these zip codes, schools interested in visual arts and theater arts, and it allowed us to really get a snapshot of how our communities were being served in this way, and then allow us to be able to make decisions based on that. And this all happened kind of along the same times as COVID crisis was starting to hit. And so right at the point when we were beginning to build out some of these relationships and start creating partnerships, we were sheltered in place. And it is our commitment to continue this work and to continue to bring some of these programs to these communities, to the schools, as soon as we are able to. So we have been using this time to reevaluate, reimagine, and adapt some of our programs. And so as soon as we have some more clarity around what CPS is going to do, some more clarity around our budget constraints, I'm sure that a lot of organizations out there are dealing with similar situations is we'll be better equipped to be able to reach out to schools for partnership opportunities. Again, it was really a great way for one to get this information in a condensed way. As I mentioned before, we went into this trying to do this on our own, and CPS is a very large district, so be able to kind of condense that information and have it in a quick snapshot was really helpful for us. It also allowed us to really pinpoint where the needs were. So it gave us a direct access to schools and teachers to contact to make these relationships work. Again, we are committed to continuing this once we have a clear picture of what this will look like, and we're eager to start that work. I think it's a wonderful resource. I think anybody who's interested in really building relationships with CPS schools, but really building relationships with those schools that are in need of these resources is definitely use this resource, because it's wonderful. It's a treasure. I really believe that this is an excellent resource for program administrators, for independent teaching artists, for schools, for teachers to really gain an understanding of the landscape of arts education in the communities that they're serving. Early on in my career, these tools did not exist. And so largely what I was doing is relying on my networks, word of mouth, and some cold calling. And it's not the most efficient way to build relationships and build partnerships. And so to have these resources is really an amazing source for arts organizations. The best part of all of this too is that Ingenuity is really committed to the work, committed to investing in the resource. So even since its inception, I've seen it grow so much. It's constantly evolving and constantly improving, and it really has allowed us to be able to approach our work in a much easier fashion, a much deliberate and intentional fashion, to be able to support the communities that we support. And so I'm really grateful for them. I thank you for allowing me to share our experience. I really hope that this is helpful for you as well. And yeah, I will send it back to Emily. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julia. So now that you know how to find data, and you've heard a little bit about how it works in practice, let's talk about how to use it strategically. Of course, we know there are many factors that you consider when deciding to make a partnership with a school. One that we hope you'll take very seriously is equity, which is a more urgent issue than ever in light of the COVID pandemic. It won't surprise many people to hear that not all students in CPS schools have access to the same educational opportunities in the arts. Arts partners can help meet that gap, but only if they're thinking strategically about where they bring their programs. Let's talk about how you can think strategically in that way. Artlook Map is a great place to start. Ask yourself, when you're thinking about a new partnership, what schools have less access to particular arts resources? Artlook's search features can help you find schools with limited arts instruction, no arts teachers, few partnerships, or with student populations that are traditionally underserved. As we saw in the previous section about Artlook, it can also help you find schools that are interested in the types of programs that you offer. Matching these search filters means that you can find schools who want your programs and services, and ensure that you'll make a big impact when doing so. But maybe you're not sure where to start. That's okay. We've built some tools to help you out. Ingenuity's annual State of the Arts report describes progress made in the journey towards full arts equity access in the district. It also highlights areas that require more attention and work to ensure that all students in Chicago have equal opportunities. Let's look at a couple of examples of how you can leverage this information when planning your partnerships for the upcoming year. First, let's talk about the issue of geographic disparities in Chicago. Unfortunately, not all students across the city have access to the same opportunities. In particular, students on the south and west sides of the city are less likely to get arts education opportunities than their peers on the north side. Now, as you might know, CPS schools are organized into networks, many of which reflect the geographic location of schools across the city. So comparing the resources available in different networks is one way to figure out whether students in different parts of the city have equal opportunities in the arts. The State of the Arts report provides snapshots of each CPS network so that you can compare them side by side. So let's take an example and look a little bit more closely at Network 12, which is a network of 28 South Side elementary schools. What does their partnership profile look like? Well, in the most recent reported year, elementary schools across the district had an average of 5 partners, but schools in Network 12 had just 3.5 on average. So a partnership search on Artlook that was focused on a Network 12 school provides an opportunity to work with schools that have had less engagement from the partner community in the past. You can use the report to find opportunities like this, and then go on Artlook map to find which schools these are, and focus on the ones that are most interested in the programs that you already offer. Network 12 schools have also told us what they're most interested in. So programs in acting, animation, web design, and creative writing will be particularly popular with schools in this network. Okay, let's look at another example of how we can use data to increase equity. This one asks a slightly different question. What types of partnerships tend to last for multiple years? Now, of course, a meaningful partnership can last for several years, or it may take place over the course of just a single afternoon. But there's a lot of benefit to a long-term partnership. Partners have the benefit of coming back to a familiar school environment. Teachers and administrators develop a relationship with artists that they know they can trust. And students get the chance to engage in a progression of programming over multiple years. So, to find out what's going on with long-term partnerships, we conducted an analysis to see how long partnerships persist from year to year, and where those long-term partnerships are located across the city. So let's think first about partnerships that last for 2 years. When we looked at the 2-year data, we saw a pretty equitable trend. What I mean by that is that most schools in most neighborhoods across the city have had a partnership that lasted for at least 2 years. But as you can see from all of these maps, not all schools in all neighborhoods have had equally long partnerships. As we start to get above 2 and 3 years, the percentage of schools in South and West Side neighborhoods with that partnership length drops off quite substantially. This means that students in those North Side schools are getting the benefit of long-term partnerships, while their peers in other parts of the city are not. These relationships are established both by schools and by partners, of course. But armed with this information, one concrete step that partner organizations can take would be to commit to a multi-year partnership with a school that hasn't had the chance to have one before. So now that we've talked about how to share your data, how to use the data, and how to strategize with the data, let's talk about some concrete action steps that you and your organization can take. The first step, of course, is to get on the map. So let's say you're a new partner and you don't have an Artlook profile yet. No problem, just reach out to us and we'll help get you set up. And if you're a partner that already has an Artlook profile, now's a great time to make sure that it's the most up-to-date that it can be. Add the latest information about your arts education programs, partnerships, and up-to-date contact information. Now, more than ever, it's important that the whole sector has up-to-date information so that we can all address the new and greater equity challenges that have arisen during the pandemic. So to help with this, any virtual programs that you offer that can be presented online will now be added to our new virtual learning library. This library is designed to help partners share information about arts programs that can be accessed online during remote learning and shelter in place. If you're not sure if you're on the map yet, check it out, search for your organization, and reach out to us for more help. Once you're on the map, start to put it to work for you. Explore the map to learn about schools' needs and new opportunities for your organization. Seek out schools who want programs that you offer. Discover opportunities to bring resources to new schools and new communities, and track your engagement and your reach with students year after year. And if you need a little help on where to make the greatest impact, turn to the State of the Arts report for more guidance. As you build new partnerships, reflect with your colleagues about the reach you have across the city. Where are there opportunities to bring your partnerships to schools that have fewer resources? You can ask one another, are we offering programs to underserved communities? And if not, what steps can we take to reach those schools? When you're thinking about your programming year after year, ask yourself, who are our long-term partners? And what makes that relationship sustainable year after year? Once you understand that, you can start to think about whether there are other schools that could benefit from a multi-year relationship with your organization. And if so, what can you learn from your existing partnerships that you can bring to them when you build that relationship with a new school? This is just the start of your ability to use data to build sustainable and impactful partnerships with schools in Chicago. For any help getting started with Artlook or to support a deep dive into the data, reach out to us at Ingenuity anytime. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Emily and Julia, for taking the time to discuss using data to create informed and equitable partnerships. For our viewers out there, be sure to check out the accompanying resources to this video module on our website, including the steps you can take to update or create your Artlook profile and the State of the Arts report. And tune back in soon for Module 4, Professional Learning, Enhancing Impactful Programs. This module will cover the professional learning programs and resources that Ingenuity has to offer that can support partnerships in the midst of a pandemic and social justice movement. And we'll be featuring another community arts partner, Ariel Frost, Executive Director of Shift Englewood Youth Orchestra, as well as Nicole Upton, Partnership and Professional Learning Director at Ingenuity. In the meantime, if you have any questions regarding this module, please fill out the accompanying Google form with any questions relevant to today's session that you would like addressed during the live Partner Starter panel on Friday, August 7th. Thank you, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.